What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Lombardi Time Brews Live, and I'm your host, John Delray. Today, chatting about day 9 of Packers training camp, discussing everything that was. And it was, you know how no matter what job you got in life, the day before a break is always a little bit more low-key, a little bit more chill? Yeah, that was the Green Bay Packers today, because sweet goodness. Not only were their rotations a little bit more chill than other days, the list of guys that did not have to be active for the Packers today was lengthy, and a lot of them not even injury related. So this was one of the Packers' shorter practices. I know that there was some fear about rain, and there still is. I'm a little concerned. But ultimately, it held off. The weather was not terrible. Hasn't been as warm as it's been the last couple of days either, but nonetheless, a lot of vets getting the day off today for the Green Bay Packers. Matt LaFleur treating it in a more, I don't want to say casual, but more low-key, a little bit more chill vibes before what is a day off tomorrow, at least from public practice, and then Saturday being a completely sold-out family night for the Green Bay Packers. So I'm going to give you, of course, the full lowdown about what happened at practice. But before we get to that, Chris, I see you're talking about it already. It is the big news of the day. The Green Bay Packers, for the first time in what feels like forever, not associated with a throwback uniform, actually debuted an alternate helmet, if you haven't seen that news yet. And it happens to go along with their Color Rush jersey. So there is their traditional Color Rush jersey. There's Devontae, if you recall from a few years ago, they would use these on different primetime games, right? Well, the Packers are going to keep that jersey, keep that pants, and they're going to new helmets. I do believe that's Kenny Clark there in that picture. But a few details here. All white helmet, white face mask, and I know you can't really tell in that picture, but there are actually gold flakes in the helmet. I saw someone on Twitter talk about how that's Goldschlager in helmet form. Yep, little bit. So there's gold flakes built in. I don't know. I'm more than willing to try different helmets. This is not exactly my favorite design. I think the helmet in and of itself, really clean. I think the jerseys and pants, I love the old Color Rush uniform. However, there being no real gold in the helmet mixed with the traditional Color Rush that still has the yellow stripes, it's a little odd to me. The other thing is they're happening to use this at a noon game because they've announced that October 20th, the noon game against the Texans, they are requesting all fans to roll out with all white. And then they're going to roll these out too. It's just weird that it's for a noon game, in my opinion. Granted, huge game against the Texans. Still weird. All right. So, Brandy, hard practice, then easy practice so far. Yes, very much agreed, Brandy. And I'm not totally shocked. Yeah, yesterday was hot outside, and so they went with a little bit more intense practice yesterday. Went longer, much closer to the full 2 hours that they're allowed to go. And then all of a sudden today, with a day off tomorrow, they pull back. There were concerns about today might have to be shortened because of rain or storms. So a little bit more casual of a practice today before day off tomorrow, and then family night, which is of course a ton of fun for the players on Saturday. So here is that injury list that I promised, or just the day off list. Let's actually call it that to be more accurate. It's like these. So Tucker Kraft's still on the PUP, obviously. Keyshawn Banks, Deslin Alexander, Donovan Jennings, all existing injuries. All right, so they were still out today. Same with Carrington Valentine and his hamstring. Matt LaFleur did mention, though, that they're going to be very cautious in bringing Valentine out from his hamstring injury, so it might be a little bit before we see Carrington Valentine. Also, Edrin Cooper, we found out from Matt LaFleur why he's been out. Matt LaFleur saying that he has a little groin injury. You can do with that whatever you will. But Edrin Cooper, it shouldn't be too long before we see him back. Josh Myers out again for personal reasons. He missed 3 days earlier in camp due to personal. Now another personal day for Josh Myers. Honestly, no matter what you think of his play, I just hope that he actually is okay with this many personal days. Then we got Josh Jacobs. He has some kind of groin injury. No real details revealed on that. And then Don Callis, one of the brand new signed cornerbacks. He basically got into town, has pulled his hamstring. He's a true Packer, is what that means. So Callis out with a hamstring injury. But then the list of just vet rest days today. Tyler Davis, Rashawn Gary, Preston Smith, Elton Jenkins, and Kenny Clark. Yes. It was a diminished practice from a what are they doing standpoint. It also was a diminished practice from who's actually out there standpoint, and that very much did affect who was out with the ones today. I'll get to that in just a second. Cam McKebble saying, oh, to have it versus the Dolphins. Oh, well, Van Ness keeps growing, I see, as he was in place of Gary or Smith. Could you tell? Yes, but the one thing I'm going to say is today was not exactly the most 11 on 11 heavy day. Today was some position drills. They did do some 2 minute stuff, some kind of in it to win it drills at the end, but this was not the clearest day to see truly who's in for who, and there's so many down across the board. In regards of LVN specifically, he was in with the ones, though, with both Preston and Gary out. The other thing that I will say, yeah, against the Dolphins, that would have been sweet. Also, I've said before I would have loved to see a day week one. Like if the Eagles were going to go with their all blacks, then with the Packers and their all whites, also would have been sweet. Texans going to be a huge game. Noon game, kind of weird. Chris saying, has Eric Stokes been playing to a new comeback year? Practice, sorry, John, haven't been up to all your new details. Oh, that's just fine, Chris, but you can start tuning in every day from here on out. Like, here's what I'll say. Stokes is looking much, much closer to rookie year Stokes than what we've seen as of recent. So, certainly a positive development in that regard. He also does look fully healthy. He was one of the players of the day just a few days ago. Stokes thus far is looking very, very good. Certainly a good sign of things to come, hopefully. Chad saying, seems defense had a big day without a lot of their staples, Gary, Clark Smith, etc. That's a good sign. Also saw that Love is making jaw-dropping throws. Love it. All accurate. Yeah, the defense did ultimately win this day today. But like I said, a very low-key day overall. Even the defense, which did do very well against the offense, this was not the intensity that we saw in those first couple of days. They weren't flying around like we saw in those first couple of days. So, again, this is not to bash anyone. I'm just going to say you're going to see like other articles, maybe other shows, whatever, that are going to talk about like how there still was a lot of intensity today. I mean, I didn't think so. Not compared to other days. This struck me as a very, very chill day, even from the defense. Were there standout individual little plays? Yeah, totally. Love did have a couple great throws, yes. But just overall, this was a lower key day for sure. Also, so here is the starting lineup if you want to know who the ones were in this mishmash lineup that they came out with. So offensively, it was Love, quarterback 1, Dillon, running back 1, Musgrave, obviously tight end 1, wide receivers, Dobbs, Watson, Reed. Then for the O-line, because with Myers out, Jenkins out, Tom not doing 11 on 11 reps, yeah, it got weird. So the offensive line today, was Rasheed Walker, Royce Newman, Sean Ryan at center. Then, let's see, right guard, Jordan Morgan, right tackle, Tom, who eventually gave way to the rotation of to Telfort and Dillard. They continue to rotate in with the ones at right tackle during 11 on 11s. Some interesting observations here. Ryan getting cross-trained at center with the ones. They gave him the ones at center over Jacob Monk, who I've been detailing, has had some very rough times. Newman, I've been saying it for like 3 days. Royce Newman's chances to make this roster are a lot better than a lot of people think. And I'm going to continue on that train. He got the snaps at the ones at left guard today. Then defense, again, they just putting people out that they could. Brooks in at defensive end, LBN in defensive end, Wyatt and Slayton defensive tackles, Quay and McDuffie the linebackers, Nixon, Jair, Stokes the corners, and then it was Bullard's day to go along with Xavier McKinney as the number 1 safety. Brandy, what you got? Brandy saying, make heads or tails out of this special teams changes. How weird is it compared to what we are used to? So the thing is, in terms of kickoffs, what is really weird, like, yes, they do appear to be up closer. Like, it just feels more compact overall. The thing, though, that's really jarring to see and is going to take some getting used to from our side of things is traditionally, right, as the kicker would kick the ball, then you'd see everyone begin running down the field. The biggest change and the most jarring thing is not seeing any of the coverage unit move until the kick returner has the ball. That's really jarring to see. It's really interesting to see. So that, I think, is going to be the most noticeable change. Now, other than that, I have talked before about how the Packers already did the most returns, how the Packers already had to cover the most returns. Like, they were already doing it more than any other team in the NFL. So in terms of this change, trying to get more kick returns, I don't know as if the frequency is going to go through the roof for the Packers. But that change, that's a biggie. Corey saying, Josh Jacobs, come on, man. I hope this isn't going to be a thing. I don't know. It could have been a week. Could have been an excuse to give him a vet rest day. I wouldn't look so far into it today. If he misses family night, Yeah, all right. Then maybe it's a bona fide hamstring injury. But on a day where they were keeping down all of these other vets, he already had a hamstring injury earlier in this offseason. I wouldn't look too far into it yet. Corey, it was just a convenient excuse not to put another guy on a vet rest day. Oh, so I swear all that wasn't going on when I started. My bad. Chad, talk to Keep about Lloyd. I heard he looks different. Talk to Keep about Lloyd. About Marshawn Lloyd, obviously. Let me know what you want me to talk about. He looks different. I don't know what you mean in that way. Let me know, Chad. I'll be happy to answer. Brandy Lewis saying over under 5 special teams flags per game. Oh, God. Well, the Packers did, led the NFL in special teams flags last year? 5 per game? It best not be 5 per game, Brandy. Got to go under on that one. But to start the year, there's going to be some. I won't be shocked, too, if when we start the year, even some refs are confused. Because that's the thing we've seen lately. Even when Clete Blakeman was here the other day covering kickoffs, there was a huge discussion between Bisaccia, the players, and Clete Blakeman trying to figure out what in the hell they're supposed to be doing here. So don't be shocked if early season there's still some kinks to work out. But yeah, that number better be under 5. Corey, okay, I appreciate that. It might be a thing, but we don't know for sure yet, Corey. Chad, talk to me. Oh, I got you. So, okay, Lloyd's only been practicing for 3 days. So let's get all offensive and special talk yet. But with that being said, the big thing about Marshawn Lloyd that is very evident thus far is, 1, the Packers plan to use him as a receiver, and 2, dude's good at it. That's been the thing. And there were a few more plays today where Marshawn Lloyd caught the ball on like an actual, not just your typical like running back sweeps or like traditional running back reps where they better catch the ball because it's 3 feet from him. But like they've actually had him do some more like Texas style routes, some actual route running out of the backfield. And in that way, he's looked good. It's all been positive developments in that way from Marshawn Lloyd. So in that way, I would say that is indeed very encouraging. There has been at least one snap, I believe it was yesterday, where there was a bad snap to the QB who then bobbled it, who then handed it off to Lloyd while it was being bobbled. And it was just, the whole thing was a mess. There also has been, like, I'm kind of waiting for a carry from Lloyd where he really not just has a lane to run up, but actually creates a lane for himself. Haven't seen that much yet. So I'd hold off on the special talk, but I would say what has been there has been fine. Like, no real issues there. It's been good. But then also as a receiver, that's been incredibly encouraging to see thus far for Marshawn Lloyd. Definitely. All right, so then the thing that I know you're all on pins and needles about, some of you have probably seen it on Twitter already. Thus far, I've talked before about how it's been very, very even, within 1 kick of each other every day. Anders Carlson versus Greg Joseph. Today, though, now there's a definitive leader, and it's not the incumbent. Anders Carlson versus Greg Joseph today. Each had 7 kicks. Joseph, 7 of 7. Carlson, 4 of 7, including missing 2 of his first 3. Now, the vast majority of the kicks were in the 40s, between 40 and 49, but there were also kicks of 51, 52 involved. Joseph, a perfect 7 of 7, bringing his total through 9 days to be 28 of 30. Anders, however, 25 of the same number, not nearly as encouraging, right? Coming into today, they were perfectly even. And I've talked about this much before. With Carlson, it looks like he's pulling his kicks. Now, and I don't mean from a like going left-right direction. I mean almost like pulling his punch, where you're holding back. Joseph uses his leg. He's got a full-on follow-through, and he's drilling these things above the net with regularity. Basically, any kick under 45, it's going over the net for Joseph. Carlson, he was doing that with regularity last year, and you saw a much more elongated stride out of Carlson last year too, and he was going over the net. This year, I have yet to see really from him at all any of these elongated strides. It's all this short stick kind of stuff. It's all stuff that like he kicks and then his leg doesn't really go anywhere. And he did it at times last year, but now it's every kick. And he's not hitting with nearly the same power. Yeah, he's still been fine. He hit from 51 today, hit from 52 today. Still has had fine power. But it's not the same as hitting from 55 and still clearing the dang net. No, instead he's doing the short kick thing, and then from 52 it just kind of like drops it in a bucket. He's also kicking with much more of an arc as opposed to just driving it forward. And I have to wonder if that's a purposeful change from Bisaccia, from Carlson, because maybe they found that when he short kicked last year, it was more accurate. So if we can take 5 yards off and get you more accurate, well, maybe that's the trade-off. Today, though, I don't know if it was the humidity. I don't know if his girlfriend dumped him. I don't know what. But today, Anders Carlson was not good. Little buddy let us down today. So that now you see Joseph substantially in the lead after a perfect day from Joseph and not nearly as complete of a day from Anders Carlson. Still, though, I'm still believing. Yeah, see, I sound like an idiot when I say believe in Anders Carlson. What I'm saying is I still believe that Joseph is going to have to radically outkick Anders to win the job. Anders has the contract status going for him, the relationship to Bisaccia going for him, etc., etc. So Joseph is going to have to really outkick him. It's going to take multiple days like today, in my mind, for Joseph to get the job. But this was one of those days, don't get me wrong. Chad saying, I'm very curious as to if Joseph kicks better, if they would actually release Carlson. Oh, just what I was talking about. Very interesting story in camp. I just think Joseph's going to have to do this routinely. Like outkick Carlson routinely in order for it to really turn. Carlson's the incumbent. That gets him something, right? So I think that's what we're seeing. And maybe family night will be the next step in that endeavor for us to see for sure. Now, I do want to spend a minute just talking about like what purely happened. I put down as the players of the day today, Dontavian Wicks. I've been very vocal. Like the whole Dontavian Wicks hype train has been going for a while, and I've been sitting here going, yeah, no, he's really good route runner. He is really good. He got catch. He's not learned to catch the ball because it's still an issue. And thus far, through 8 days of camp, there's been like one marquee drop a day. Oh, not today. No. Dontavian Wicks was different today. In fact, I had him at 5 catches. I think it might have been 6, but no real plays either that were a drop. Very, very encouraging for Dontavian Wicks. Also, Messiah Swinson, the UDFA tight end, who I don't think has much of a chance to make the roster at all. But he logged himself 4 receptions today. And a few of them were very much as he was getting hit. Very, very impressive day for the tight end today. Also, Sean Clifford. I didn't put him in player of the day because he was still pretty inconsistent. But like those Swinson catches, the ones in traffic, almost all of them were delivered by Clifford. There were some dots that he really dropped in there today. Very, very encouraging today. Kevin Kebbles, what you got? J-Lo looking all the way back. Like no rust. Yes and no. There have been some throws to the sideline that he certainly has overshot his man. But also today, there was one play today. Oh, Bo, buddy, little Bo. There was one day in the in it to win it drill. Like this is the very end. Bo is basically running a deep corner, trying to get to the back corner of the end zone. He is double covered. Love. He has to evade the pressure, rolls up into the pocket, and delivers it from, I believe it was about 25 yards out. This thing is perfectly in the basket. It is coming down at the right trajectory. Both of Bo's double coverage are right behind him. The ball is coming in this perfect trajectory, and Bo's arms did not close around the ball. It was one of J-Love's best throws of camp. Winds up incomplete because it goes right through the arms of Bo Melton. A very, very rare misstep from Bo Melton in camp thus far, but nonetheless, a misstep. So he got a drop on that one. But yeah, in that way, Kevin Kebbles, is he all the way back? Is the offense lightning every single day? No, but he got the arm for sure. It's just not quite consistent enough yet. Big Al, what's your thoughts on the Packers whiteout helmet and jersey? Packers finally doing something new with their jersey. See, okay, I talked about it a little bit at the open. I'll just give my super brief thoughts. I really like the Color Rush jersey and pants. I really like the helmet in and of itself, although I'm going to go to the pro shop after this, hopefully snag some more pictures of up close. If there's gold flecks in the helmet, that might be pretty cool. So I really like the helmet. Super clean, super streamlined. Really like the jersey and pants. I always like the Color Rush look. Together, though, it's a little weird. Like if they would have added a gold strip down the middle of the helmet, then it all would have tied together. If they would have gotten rid of the gold strip on the jerseys, because then it's all just white and green, that would have worked together. Together in its current form. Also, the fact that it's at a noon game, really weird to me. Put that in prime time. Put it in the snow. I don't know. I like this whole winter warning thing that they're doing. That's kind of neat. But like a Sunday at noon in October, I was thinking winter warning. At least we bet not be. All right. So then just other things. Eason wound up throwing an interception to Tyler Coyle. Absolutely would have been a pick six. Bo did chase him down, but it would have gotten to the end zone. Drops today, one by Dobbs, and then the one that I mentioned by Melton. And the one by Dobbs, to call it a drop is kind of cruel, honestly. Like, he was double covered, and he took a shot on it. Still, nonetheless, should have been a catch. Also, keep in mind today, the Packers were in half pads. They only were wearing their shoulder shells. No, like, lower pads, anything like that. When I say low-key practice, meant it. Then there was a fumble today. Adumagu! Yes, Adumagu. He wound up with a strip sack on Jacob Eason. This is why Jacob Eason is in the try again another day category, because he wound up getting strip sacked by Adumagu. He had that interception to Coyle. Really, the only turnovers of the day all came from Jacob Eason. But Adumagu, really the only, like, probably would have been the only, like, at least sack. There might have been another one earlier, depending on how you credit these things. But, yeah, that was really, really good to see. Then just other plays. I mentioned how Dontavian Wicks had a very good day. A few of those 5 catches, too, for Wicks were of the contested catch variety. Not all of these were just wide open balls. So that was good to see. And then just to give you a flavor, don't start raining on me. Just to give you a flavor of the final, like, 2-minute drills here. Okay. So it's 1st and 10. Love to Wicks, 15-yard slant. 1st and 10. Love to Wicks, 25-yard play downfield. Wicks double covered, cutting across coverage against what looked like Tampa 2, 1st down. Then, new 1st down. Love to Dobbs. That would be the out of bounds going to the end zone. Just didn't work. There's traffic everywhere. 2nd down. Love. Check down to Reed. Gain of about 9. Very, very generous 9 yards from the refs on that one. Then 3rd and 1. Love to Dillon. Corner of the end zone. Incomplete. Then 4th and 1 from about the 7-yard line. Love to Wicks. Wicks? This play's funny. Wicks absolutely beat Keyshawn Nixon on some kind of either slant or crosser at the back part of middle of the end zone. Absolutely beat Keyshawn Nixon. However, Nixon was not going to be beat on this day. He straight up took the back of Wicks' jersey and tugged it. Absolutely. A touchdown saving penalty. Absolutely a penalty, Keyshawn Nix, but Wicks cooked him. So that one went incomplete. Then, of course, 4 seconds to go. 1st and goal on the 2-yard line. Love to Wicks. Out of bounds. Incomplete. Would have been at about the 1. Then the 2s get their chance. Clifford scramble for 3 yards. Then Clifford to Heath on an out. Gain of about 6. 3rd and 1. Clifford to Toure. Incomplete. Kalen King with the pass breakup. Then 4th and 1. Clifford to a slant. I could not get the jersey number of the receiver. Either way, incomplete. Turnover on downs. Not the best work out of the 2s today. Then Jordan Love gets another chance. Another 2-minute drill. However, they gave him only 16 seconds. Ball on the 35. A true in it to win it type drill. 1st and 10. Love goes deep to Dobbs. He evades pressure in the pocket, rolls out to the right, goes deep to Dobbs. This is the quote-unquote drop to Dobbs. Kind of mean here. But it is double coverage. Bullard and Jair in coverage. Big collision, incomplete. And I'm going to tell you, this was one of those throws that we saw Jordan make at the end of games last year. Not all the way to the end zone, but the kind of throw where it's like time is ticking down. He knows he's got to find someone. Maybe he doesn't find the best someone. Like, Dobbs was cutting open. You can make that argument for sure. Bullard and Jair were both also absolutely there. And in a game with full-blown hitting, with teammates that don't like you, that might have been a hospital ball. So that is one thing that I still continue to see. Maybe not as frequent as it was at the midpoint or early games last year, but still continue to see from Love that it's this, when the time gets ticking down, you gotta sometimes find some smarter plays to go to. So that was one. And then the next play, Love rolls forward. This is the dot to Melton that went right through his arms. Incomplete. So there you go. I'll hang out for just a couple more seconds, see if there's any more comments, but that's about the day in a nutshell. Nice short day for the Green Bay Packers. Very, very humid day here. Not nearly as hot as the last couple of days, but very, very humid. Very low-key day. Lots of vet rest. Gray skies abound, as you can see. So I think there might have been some fear from the team that, like, the skies are going to open up and we're going to go inside anyway. So is what it is. Corey, let's see. Great job, brother. This is awesome. Thank you. Well, thank you, Corey. Really appreciate it. Also, hey, I haven't seen a plug for you yet, but I'm going to. Like, share, subscribe. Help me out. Like, I drive an hour every day for this. I hate begging. I hate selling myself. If you like what we do, throw a like on it. I really appreciate it. John saying, thank you, John, for putting in the work. Keep on keeping on. Absolutely. Thank you, John. All right, everybody, I do believe it is time for me to jump on out of here. No public practice tomorrow. I think the Packers might actually just be doing meetings tomorrow anyway. So nothing tomorrow. And then Saturday will be family night. I don't think I'm going to go live after family night. There will be family night coverage some way, shape, or form. Maybe it'll come out Sunday morning. Maybe I'll talking to you in the car after Saturday night. I don't know yet, but Claudia and I will be at family night for sure. I'll post pictures on Twitter, that kind of deal. But I'll let you know as we get closer to Saturday what the exact programming plan is for Saturday. And the next week, it really begins to taper down. Only 2 public practices next week as we start getting into the preseason games. So that's about it. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me here on the Lombardi Time Brews. I will see you on Saturday somehow. And as always, go Pack Go.